Well, the message out here today is if you want to vote in person, you should try to do it today. Otherwise, you could end up waiting in a long line tomorrow. So we have seen plenty of people come here to the Registrar of Voters office this morning. So here is an update on the number of people who have voted in person so far.
As of last night, we were at over 48,000 in-person voters. So we're hoping to see many more today. If you do wait until Election Day to vote in person, you should expect long lines. There will be delays.
And so we have some new video from inside the Registrar of Voters office today. And as you heard Cynthia Paz say, 48,000 votes have been cast in person so far. She says more than 825,000 mail-in ballots have been returned. And so they will be part of that first set of unofficial results that come out shortly after 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Now, she says all kinds of emotions and feelings are happening in this final push before Election Day. A mix of nerves. There's also excitement in the air. So this is the big day they have been waiting for. A lot of hard work has gone into preparing for it. So today they're answering a lot of questions from voters. The Registrar of Voters office will remain open until 5 p.m. tonight, and it reopens at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. So back out here live. As for parking, in case you're concerned about parking out here because of some of the construction that's going on, I'm told that the rest of this campus does have some other county offices, and some of those workers are working remotely today and tomorrow to free up extra parking spaces. But for more on these vote centers, let's go now to my colleague, Regina Urita. Regina?
Yeah, and by now every San Diego County voter has received their mail-in ballot. That is definitely an option that some chose to a way to vote. Others chose to come in person. That's definitely a way that you can still vote in person if you'd like. Actually, the community charter school here in Chula Vista, right behind me, a portion of it actually has been turned into a super center. The super centers started, they were open, I should say, on Saturday, and this is really another way to alleviate the long lines or the busier lines that you could see, especially tomorrow. But fortunately for California, you don't have to wait until Election Day to vote. You can head here today with early voting to avoid the busier lines. You can also speed up the voting process by making your selections in advance. A small ballot was mailed out with a voter information pamphlet. When you go to the voting center and enter your selections in the voting booth, you can quickly transfer what you picked to your official ballot. That way you have done your homework in advance. If you have any questions, poll workers have been trained to answer any sort of concerns. That also includes responding to any illegal activity like campaigning too close to a voting center. So back out here, super centers, as I mentioned, they opened on Saturday. As far as all voting centers, they will be open today until 5 p.m. Tomorrow it switches over until 8 p.m. for Election Day. But we have seen several people here coming into this super center to vote. I'm sure, like Kelly mentioned, there's going to be a lot busier tomorrow, and we know that polling workers are actually here not only supervising if there's any suspicious activity, but also law enforcement. And we actually have CBS 8 Chris Groh in Rancho Penasquito to talk more about that. Chris?
And while, of course, everyone has safety on top of mind, we do recognize that these are sort of uncharted territory, a little bit of different times. And so a lot of people have been thinking a little bit more and more about safety, part because of some of the rhetoric that has been coming out. But that's been top of mind for San Diego County sheriffs, for San Diego Police Department, and a lot of different law enforcement agencies across the county, as they have been preparing for months now about any potential thing that could happen, while also continuing to monitor for any threats.
The department, we tend to always plan for the inevitable, something that might happen. But we're really confident that the voters, they understand that the election's going on. They understand that some might be frustrated, but there's a way to cast that vote and to express themselves.
And so that was San Diego Police Department, who we spoke to earlier this morning, who told us that they have been in connection with a number of different law enforcement agencies, including both federal partners as well as the San Diego County Sheriff's Department, just to coordinate as well as discuss both different tactics that will be potentially used, stepping up patrols in certain areas, but then also trying to investigate or look for any potential threats. And they said that that's not been something that they have identified yet. We also spoke with the San Diego County Sheriff's Department as well, too, who told us that they have also been in communication with a number of different law enforcement agencies, and that has been, of course, what they will be doing. Now, as for voters, of course, there are a number of different rules that you have to follow, and we do know, of course, that tempers as well as tension can be high, especially around this time. So should be noted that according to, of course, the San Diego County Registrar of Voters, intimidation of voters, tampering with voting system, unauthorized uniformed personnel, interfering with the election process, those are just some of the rules that they will be enforcing at a number of different voting locations like the one that we're at now. And of course, San Diego County Sheriff's Department going to help with that as well.
Prior to this, we've been upping our training. So we've been doing joint training with our other agencies to have a really good unified response should anything happen. For Election Day, we're providing extra security around the Registrar of Voters. So there'll be an increased presence of law enforcement around there. We're going to have our Department Operations Center active for the day of the elections.
And what law enforcement is saying, as well as what the San Diego County Registrar of Voters is saying, is that if you are going to be out voting tomorrow, or if you're dropping off your ballot or early voting, if you see something suspicious, it doesn't matter what day it is, to call 911, to contact law enforcement and report it as quickly as possible. Back to you.
Yeah, certainly a good reminder.
Yes.
All right, thank you for that, Chris.
And I got to say, today, a smooth, easy day to do that.
You already went. I'm going after the show.
Got it done. Thank you. While the big Election Day item is the presidential race, here at CBS 8, we're watching local races and several items on the ballot that are sure to have lasting effects on life here in our county.
Yeah, one of those items, Measure G, a half-cent sales tax for the entire county to help pay for infrastructure projects and transportation.
Another dime to Sanday because they don't keep their promises and they mismanage the money.
It'll reduce congestion for everybody, even if you don't use transit. And if you use transit, it will make it so much better.
There's another sales tax measure on the ballot. Measure E, if passed, would add a 1-cent sales tax in the city of San Diego. It would help fund street and sidewalk repairs. Mayor Todd Gloria faces Larry Turner, a San Diego police officer and former Marine, in the city of San Diego's mayoral race. We'll also be keeping a close eye on California's 49th congressional district and have updates on the District 51 candidates.
To make sure you are as informed as possible for this election, CBS 8 bringing you different viewpoints. We interviewed representatives from both the San Diego County Democratic and Republican parties. They made their final pitch to voters on why you should vote for their party.
The Democratic Party's message is one of hope. And it's because the Democratic Party wants us to protect our Constitution and our important fundamental rights. And there's a lot of excitement on our side. The other side, unfortunately, I think is still kind of messed up in a time where they're castigating others and not really looking forward to the future.
If the American people want change, if they want to go a different direction, it's easy the direction they need to go, which is to vote for Republicans. Republicans have solutions to these crises, whereas the Democrats have proven that they are not competent enough at governing to fix what's going on for the average American. Election comes down.
So those were small portions of our interviews. You can check out the entire interviews from both chairs on our CBS 8 YouTube page.
This morning, California Secretary of State Dr. Shirley Weber is reassuring people about the integrity of the voting process.
Have machines that are hooked to the internet, voting machines hooked to the internet. So therefore, in California, you cannot hack a voting machine because it's not hooked to the internet. Every machine that's used in California, every machine is tested several times before it even gets to you to use.
If you vote by mail, you can track your ballot at sdvote.com and select Where's My Ballot. Over 6.7 million ballots have been returned in California. That's about 30% of the ballots issued.
And you can find our coverage of all the local races on CBS8.com and on our streaming channel. Plus, we'll have updated results from all races during a special live stream newscast happening on the CW and the CBS 8 Plus streaming channel. It'll start at 7 p.m. through when the polls close at 8 onto 9:30 election night. Download our free streaming channel right now on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV. You'll see it all there. Our morning and midday shows will also have the very latest updates as those numbers come on in.